Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. We have Thanksgiving this week, so things are a little bit crazy over here in our house. We've got kids out of school, and I guess out of school today. We had family pictures yesterday, and we've got planning to do to spend time with my side of the family. So we've got lots of things going on, but I wanted to come and talk about this specific topic with you guys. So I've been thinking a lot about my business, right? I'm a life coach. I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate. I'm a professor at a local university. I teach 7 habits for highly effective people, as well as stress management. My life coaching business, I help women become whole and learn how to heal from the inside out from years and years of self abuse and focusing in on weight loss and diet, the dieting world, and things like that. And I've been thinking a lot lately about how I want to create a business that utilizes doTERRA's products as well as my life coaching skills and my life coaching business, and how to blend those together. And in talking with a friend, she she helped me really clarify what I want to create. And so I've been focusing a lot on building a YouTube channel. And I get so caught up because I have so many ideas and I have a lot of curriculum from the things that I teach and a lot of life experience from battling my weight. And I actually don't want to say battling, from being on a health journey and learning how to take care of myself and learning how to heal from the inside out and become whole. And I've really wanted to get all of that information out. I just haven't been able to figure out a way to do that. And so, in talking with her last week, she's like, why don't you just talk about all of it, but make it into playlists? Like, break it down into these small chunks for people to manage and to watch. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. And so right now, I'm focusing in on the 7 habits topics. So 7 habits from highly effective 7 habits for highly effective people from Stephen Covey. Because that's what I'm teaching. That's what I'm immersed in right now. And one of the things that came up and an experience I had last week was I spend a lot of time thinking about all the things I need to do, right? That to-do list, but ending up none of it getting done. And then I spend a lot of time beating myself up and running around like a chicken with my head cut off, right? In this like frantic panic, telling myself, I got to get the dishes done. I got to get this done. I got to get that done, like whatever it is. But then I end up not really doing anything. And so I wanted to teach this concept about learning how to prioritize our time through the rocks, pebble, and sand approach, which is something that Stephen Covey teaches. And he talks about learning how to prioritize our time by learning how to prioritize our priorities. And so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through this because, again, I feel like it's really important. So let's share the screen. Let's get to what we want. And this is like the 4th time I've recorded this. So we're going to get it right this time. It just hasn't felt right all the other times, but which is plays into it. So again, this video, I want to be teaching you guys how to prioritize your time, especially as we're moving forward in our lives, whatever that looks like for you, whether that's focusing on your health, focusing more on your family, focusing on building a business. We want to do what's easy and what's comfortable, but most of the time, things that are easy and comfortable don't move us forward. It doesn't push that needle forward. And we end up staying stuck. And we end up indulging in confusion, indulging in beating ourselves up, and not becoming the person who we know we want to become. And so again, that's kind of the rut I've been stuck in. And so that's why I really feel like this is important for me to teach to you. So, and I love the idea of this being an approach, right? It's something that we can approach. It's something that we can practice. It doesn't have to be perfect. It won't be perfect, and that's okay. And as we're focusing in on learning how to prioritize our time, I want you guys just to focus on one thing at a time, right? And so let's hop into this and learn what this rocks, pebble, sand approach is. Okay. So it's learning how to balance all of the elements of our lives. It's learning how to focus on one thing at a time, because really the idea of learning to balance means we have to do all the things at all the time. And that just doesn't work. We need to focus on one thing at a time, focus in on what's most important in our lives. And I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm going to pull myself back. Okay. So I want you guys to imagine your life as a jar, and you have rocks, pebbles, and sand to fill that jar. And the rocks and the pebbles and the sand represent stuff in our lives. So the rocks represent the foundation, right? The rocks represent the most important tasks that we have to complete throughout the day. It's the critical goals and the priorities in our lives. It's the things that truly matter, such as long-term career aspirations, personal development, and key relationships, right? So relationships with your partner, with your children, if you have those, with your your extended family, the relationship with yourself. So the foundation, right? That foundation of our life. The pebbles, those are versatile. Those are the things that can fill up the space. They're important tasks that contribute to our overall well-being and success, but they're not as urgent or significant as the rocks. So these could be things like regular work commitments, social engagements, daily activities like taking a shower or brushing your teeth, or for me, exercise. Exercise actually is a rock for me, but we won't get too much into that. So, and then we focus in on the sand, right? The sand is the smallest things. It's those less crucial activities that can easily fill up our time if not properly managed, like scrolling on Facebook, checking our Instagram, right? Watching reels on YouTube, things like that. It's minor tasks that, while they're necessary, shouldn't take precedence over the rocks and the pebbles. And most often, we focus in on the sand because that's what's easy and that's what's comfortable for us. But what tends to happen is when we fill our jar, right, fill our life with the sand first, we don't have enough room when we try to put the pebbles in and the rocks, and it overflows. It creates at the end of the day, we haven't had time to do all of the things we've wanted to accomplish. So this is a quote that I love from Stephen Covey. It's about putting first things first, right? So this is what I just talked about. There's a catch. If we start by filling up our jar with the sand, followed by the pebbles, there's not going to be enough room for the rocks. And this is why Stephen Covey talks about putting first things first, because when we put the rocks in first, followed by the pebbles, followed by the sand, there's gonna be enough room for everything. It's really magical. Okay, so what I want you to take away from this teaching, this video, it's simple, but it's profound. We need to prioritize our time on what matters the most, what truly matters, right? As you're identifying your rocks, what are your most significant goals? For me, it's my relationship with God, it's myself, and then it's my family. And then I get to fill in the rest of the time with everything else. But I want to spend most of the time building my relationship with God, building my relationship with myself, and building my relationship with my family. Right? And so I when I do that, I allocate, as I'm planning, I allocate time to them first. And once those are in place, we can incorporate, right? We can pour the pebbles in, and then we can let the sand fill in the remaining spaces. I just think that's beautiful. So just to close this video out, I again wanted to make it short and sweet. By embracing the rocks, pebbles, and sand approach, what we're really doing is we're empowering ourselves to focus in on what truly matters, ensuring that our time, because time is a limited resource, it's the one resource that we can't get back. And yet we spend a lot of time on things that don't matter the most. So when we focus in on what matters most, what truly matters, we ensure that the time we're spending is in alignment with our priorities. And when we do that, we get to move the needle forward and everything else falls into place. So I want to just give a quick example of this. So on Thursday, right, because I'm making, in terms of building my business, I'm focusing in on one thing at a time. Because when I focus in on all the things, when I focus in on all the things all the time, nothing gets done. So I've really had to become very clear on what I want to do each day to move the needle forward in my business. Today, it's making this video. Tomorrow, I have a coaching client. That's my big rock for tomorrow. I'm spending some time with a friend tomorrow. That's the big rocks for me tomorrow. Thursday, it's Thanksgiving. It's spending time with my family, right? Cooking. Those are the big rocks. But I just want to share an example. So last Thursday, in my effort to focus in on one thing at a time, I made the decision on Wednesday that one thing I was going to do to move the needle forward in my business was to create a video. I told my husband, and I needed to grade. So I told my husband, hey, this is what I'm doing today. I'm going to take this amount of time, 30 minutes. I'm going to create this video, and then I'm going to grade for an hour. Those two things helped my business and my job. And then afterwards, my husband and I were able to go out on a date. We were able to go buy Christmas presents for our kids, right? And then we came home and we had to do other things. But it was so interesting because any other day before that, it was like chaos. It was like, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this, right? And my husband is telling me, but what about us, right? But on Thursday, I was able to make my job a priority, you guys a priority, him a priority, my kids a priority, myself a priority. And I had time to do all of the things because I focused in on what truly mattered. And so as you're moving forward in building your businesses and moving your life forward, find out what truly matters for you and focus on doing those first. Do it one thing at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed, because overwhelm always leads to inaction. And again, when we do that, everything else falls into place. That's what I have for you guys today. I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you guys have questions, comments, concerns on any of that, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.